I guess the players left now, huh?
Yeah, we did. Coach, could you summarize the end of that game and your thoughts about the whole process?
Well, you know, number one, I believe that Oregon is right there to be a, 1-2 seed. I guess everyone has a different opinion, but they're certainly one of college basketball's best teams, and I respect their team a great deal. To me, why they're so good is because of how together they are. And if you add up, their individual talent, although they have some tremendous players, their whole becomes greater. And that's the ultimate compliment in basketball, because that group of five has to play both offense and defense. They're not the biggest group, but I'll tell you this, there's not a harder working, more together, tough-minded team than them. And, Dana Altman, deservedly so, is the Pac-12 Coach of the Year. I don't know how you can do a better job than he's doing in that program. And all of us, as part of the Pac-12, benefit because of how good they are, and I think how good they're going to continue to be moving forward. They have a great style. Tonight was an interesting game because I felt like they were the better team, and the better team won. But if you really look at the game, for about 17.5 minutes of the first half, although I don't feel like we ever took the lead, we were in a 1-point game, I think at that point, 2.5 minutes before halftime. And then they just kind of punched it out, 15-2 run or whatever it was, leading into halftime. That was a function of them, but also a function of us. The second half, we ended up outscoring them by 15. I think that says a lot about our team. If you look at the rebounding tonight, it's great for us to get back on the positive side of that. Anytime you out-rebound a team like Oregon by the amount we did, that's a good sign. 20-plus offensive rebounds. And then, to give yourself a chance to win, to never give up, to just keep fighting, playing every possession to the end. I mean, we had a free throw. We could have won the game, which is amazing to think of. And then when overtime started, again, I thought they reestablished themselves as the better team. A couple of our players fouled out, and they won a great game. And I give our team credit for fighting. And, the first half, the last couple of minutes of the first half has really been what I've been fighting as their coach from day one with this group. I talked a lot after the Colorado game. I'm not negative Nelly. I understand that if you advance in the Pac-12 tournament, that's a good thing. But if you think about the second half of the Colorado game versus the first half, it's hard to imagine we were the same team. And when you do that, it's also hard to imagine that is just going to go away. The point that I made to our group is if we're not the hard-playing together team like Oregon is, from this point on, we won't advance. And tonight, Oregon was the better team. They were also the more together, harder playing team. And that last 2.5 minutes of the first half was something that I think reflects some of my concerns and certainly won them the game, to their credit.
Question right here in the middle.
Sean, you coached a lot of really good defensive teams. How good is Oregon defensively?
Well, they're really good on offense. Let me say that. I don't care who you are. You pick the team right now in college basketball and you play Oregon on a neutral court, their coaching staff is going to have some tough moments when they watch them. There's no easy solution with matchups. And, you say, well, maybe a zone team will have a better chance. They're great against the zone. I think they're every bit as good against the zone as they are man-to-man. And, the way Tyler Dorsey's shooting, they have a lot of good things going for them. Defensively, it's just a unique game because they take you out of what you normally do by a soft press. They play a matchup zone. When they play man-to-man, they're super aggressive. And they're quick. And they read the passer's eyes. They're in the passing lanes. They do the things they need to do to make up for their lack of height. I think their defense is good enough to go all the way, but their offense is tremendous. I mean, it's really a difficult offense to guard.
Right here.
John Gold, Arizona Daily Star. Coach, you talked about playing with that togetherness for 2 halves. Is that something you can learn in a few days, or is it something you have to sort of summon?
Yeah, I think so. You know, hey, look, we're 25-8. I think it's our record. And, I don't right now say, man, what's wrong with us? Nobody has to tell me what we do at Arizona, how high the bar is. And we have that bar high ourselves. We're disappointed that we weren't able to advance to the championship. But, we're okay. We're part of the NCAA tournament. The one thing that I look at every year now, because it's so different in college basketball, look at the programs who won't be in this year's tournament. It's mind-boggling. But we have to replace half of our roster every year. And every once in a while, you won't quite be as good as you were a year ago, no matter how hard you try. So with that, we have to play our best, and we have to learn from this, and we have to have a couple great days. We have to be excited to be in the tournament, and I think everybody knows that this year in the field, a lot of different teams can make their way. You know, we've been in the Sweet 16 3 years in a row. There's not a lot of people that can say that. And so we have a number of players that have been there, and now we have to reestablish ourselves as getting that 26th win and having a chance to play for a Sweet 16. It won't be easy, but we have a lot of positive things working on our side of the ledger, as evidenced by, think about how well we played against Oregon in the second half.
All right, Coach. One or two more here, right here in the middle.
Coach, what's been the most impressive part of the season, of Alonzo Trier's season for you his freshman year?
Well, one of the things that is overlooked with Alonzo is you have to remember he missed 7+ games in the Pac-12, and you know where his development would be today would be further ahead. He was there in a learning mode, but he wasn't playing, and that's where you really learn when you get in the game and practice. So he missed some time, but he scores the ball so easily. He's as consistent of a scorer that I've coached for a freshman. It's easy for him to be in double figures, and like all freshmen, he's learning the game. He'll get better at certain things as he moves forward. And I was really impressed with Tyler Dorsey. Unfortunately, I got a little bit of him this summer when I was with Team USA, and he was on Greece's team, and he played a similar way in that tournament where he was poised, and he plays like an older player. So I think those two guys, Alonzo on our end and Tyler, that's what makes the Pac-12 so great this year. I watched Oregon-Washington the other day, and you see the freshmen that Washington has. I mean, we have some incredibly talented young players in our conference, and I'm proud to be a part of our conference this year. I don't think we take a backseat to any. And I think we're going to have a ton of teams in the NCAA tournament. I say a ton. I can't give you the number, but whoever enters this year's NCAA tournament from the Pac-12 is capable of winning a couple games. And we played a great schedule.
Coach Brian Feldman, Fox Sports Radio, Las Vegas. Talk about the play of your star guard tonight down the stretch. He's been clutch all year for you. And
Gabe.
Well, of course, Gabe, but Gabe York has been incredible. And again tonight down the stretch, his role going forward and what he means to this team.
You know, Gabe's had a terrific season. He was rewarded by all Pac-12. You know, what he did in the last weekend in McHale, I've never seen before. And he did it here at the end. Wish maybe we could have gotten it out of him a little bit earlier. But it's hard to ask Gabe to give more than he has. He's had a tremendous senior year, and you know we're proud of him. He's hung in there through his freshman year when he didn't play a lot. I think it's been well chronicled. Then he played on 2 excellent teams. Didn't get enough credit for the role he had the last couple of years, but this year is his year, and we need him to play great. You know, him and Caleb both. You know, last night I failed to mention. You know, Caleb Tarczewski yesterday against Colorado won more games as an Arizona player than anyone has ever done. I mean, if you want me to go roll call, I will. I'll start naming them. But there's quite a few names on that list that have gone on to do great things. And I think it says a lot about the 4-year run that those guys have been on, Gabe and him, and the amount of great games and big games Caleb's played in. And I'll leave it with that. And that's really what we'll rely on in the NCAA tournament. Those guys that are battle tested, that have been there and done it time after time. So hopefully they'll be at their best and we'll be ready to go and represent the Pac-12 as best we can in this year's NCAA tournament. We're excited and looking forward to it. As disappointing as it is now, I think I'm anxious to get to Sunday to see who we're going to play and where we're going.
Just one last question from SI here.
Sean, as good as the Pac-12 is, I think most people in this room would agree with that. It's 12:30 back east right now. Are you concerned that people back east don't know how good the conference is, that the selection committee, because games are being tipped off so late all the time?
No. You know what? With our new television deal that happened a few years ago, you know, I'm from that area, so they all watch Arizona games. You know, they see them. We're on there, and you know, a lot of people. At the end of the night, they love nothing more than to be able to turn on a great game or two good teams, and I think we've become that. For a while, when I was at Xavier, I would be that coach and that guy, and I would turn on and I would see Gonzaga. And sometimes I would ask myself, well, I wonder why some of these other games aren't on the same network. Well, the Pac-12 has become that. And, I mean, if you watch Utah right now in Cal and you walk out there and watch the game, there's 3 lottery picks playing in the same game. So I think we're well beyond worrying about, do people give us credibility? And I know that the selection committee, because we've been in the tournament so many times, and they do their homework. They're not going to fall prey to going to bed early. I think they're going to look at the numbers, and you cannot deny the numbers of our conference and the quality from top to bottom this year.
All right, Coach, thank you.